Colleagues, when it comes to the issue of voting, it is a very basic part of what I've dealt with most of my life, since I was about 8 years old in my first tear gas. Voting is an important aspect for me in making sure that people are, in fact, able to vote, wanting to vote, have the ability to vote. It was mentioned that we are having a large national conversation about the privacy issue. Today, we're also having a national conversation about the fundamental right to vote. I want to answer a few other questions that were brought up. And I apologize for not having the information available to me right away, but we did get in touch with several folks. And it is said to me, and I believe this goes to the representative from District 35, is that right? I'll say Kaiser, how's that? In fact, you're only registered if the DMV confirms citizenship. If you haven't been renewed since Real ID, you will not be registered under this bill. I hope that answers that question. But, and another question, the cost to rural Oregon counties. I think that's a very important question and a very important aspect. One of the things that they've been able to determine is the fact that the cost will likely be less because they will not have to be having the surge of voters and having to do the data entry issue. But I've got to come back to something that was said many, many times, and that was, you're forcing people to vote. There's a quote that's I thought was really good. It was put out on your desk today, and it's a great, great line. It says, personally, we would rather have a voter angry because he or she was put on the rolls and received a ballot instead of one who is angry because he or she was not registered and could not vote. I have had in my life and know people who struggled desperately to get a chance to vote, who died trying to get a chance to vote. The ability to have folks, to have an easy to take away burdens from people who might have problems getting to vote is something that is a basic part of why I'm in this chamber. I want to make sure that folks vote. Now, how good is that? How successful have I been on that? Here's a statistic that I challenge you to beat me on. I really would love to have somebody else in this room beat me on this particular situation. In my district, the 10 precincts in my district, we had 2 that only had an 87% voter turnout in the national election. 2. They were the lowest. The rest were above 90%. I want the folks in my district voting. I want the folks in Oregon voting. And if we can find a way to make sure that they get a chance to vote, we're not telling them they have to vote, but at least they know that they have this chance. This is an important factor for me. This is what I want to make sure that we get a chance to do. This is why this bill is a step into the 21st century. This is why this bill is necessary. This is why this bill is something I think you should vote for. And the data, the issues in terms of privacy, okay, we need to work those out and try to figure out how that works. But frankly, the issue is, are we going to get people to understand what's available for them to vote? That is what I'm talking about within this bill. That is why I'm clearly passionate about it. Voting is not just an academic exercise for me. It is a core issue for me. We need to make sure that people get the chance to vote and that they get a chance to, frankly, control their own lives, because that's what we're talking about here. Thank you.